Hopefully. Not sure what happened there, but I suppose that'll happen from time to time.
Certainly unfortunate. Hopefully it's not on my end, and hopefully it's not a YouTube thing either. I'm not sure. We now have a scheduled race up with the original old Atlanta Daredevil race thumbnail up for some reason.
Incredible. YouTube is just kind of doing whatever it wants at this point. That's all right. 107 laps to go. Nathan Reynolds leading Justin Michael now by a tenth of a second. I think the battle for the lead is on. Here goes Michael to the inside of Reynolds for the top spot. And he's got it. We have had a couple of incidents, but it's been caution-free thus far. Coming to the halfway mark of the race.
And looks like we are back, but my stream is buffering quite intensely.
Strange.
If you guys can hear us, or if anybody's out there, please do let us know, because this is not something we're used to. I do have to be honest, my phone has been acting up all day, and I'm wondering if it's a regional internet issue, or maybe if it's something else.
Huh.
Not quite certain.
Got a message in the Discord. I can't pull it up right now. I don't know if it's related to the stream or not. Nope, something else. Unrelated. Carry on. The race carries on, coming to the halfway point of the race. Roland Holt, the early leader, is in a distant third, but he's finding himself with a mirror full of Gavin Sanders all of a sudden for the third position. Oh, gosh, that was close.
Yeah, we are now getting to the halfway point, and Sanders and Holt are battling intensely. And I think the stream should be back, although we might have a split videos, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'll probably have to go put this one together in post, but we'll do that. That won't be a big thing.
Sanders has now gotten through on the 50 of Holt, so he is up to the third spot.
I believe Jacob Houston just had an incident with Hunter Leach. They tangled down the front straightaway. Not anything that warranted a caution, unfortunately. They both had quite a bit of damage on those trucks.
And Langston, who is in fourth right now, has been in heavy traffic for the last lap or two. He's been working through it. He only has one in front of him now. And that is the 13 of Garrett Rainey.
And props to Troy Thomas, the driver that he just passed, for being the most vocal driver on the radio here tonight, communicating with the leaders and letting them through, coordinating. So good on Troy Thomas tonight. Inside of 100 to go, Justin Michael still leading the way here. Nathan Reynolds in second. Gavin Sanders is up to third. 9.2 seconds, though, is the gap that he needs to overcome here. Is that doable here with a pit stop to go?
I think it is. There's some that are going to be on varying tire cycles here, though. I think that's what's going to maybe be more of a key, is who split the cycles the best. We saw Sanders come in very late, and on that pit stop, it hurt him badly. He came out 7th or 8th after being in the lead, and the leader also basically wrecked going into the pits. So that didn't necessarily work to his favor, although on that last little stint, he's going to have the freshest tires of anybody likely. So that's where he's going to be trying to be making his money, if you would.
Last lap was the first time in quite some time that Justin Michael was not faster than, oh man, as he nearly gets doored by Jeremy McKinnon down the back straightaway, the race leader. Last lap was the first time in quite some time that Sanders was not faster than Justin Michael. Sanders before that lap had been anywhere from 1/10 to 2.5 tenths a lap faster than the race leader, trying to track him down.
And Reynolds has been sitting behind McKinnon here for a little bit. He's finally going to go to the inside and clear. Now he has a clear track as Michael has a couple of lappers in front of him.
Some banter over the radio from Nathan Reynolds. Oh, nearly tangling Jeremy McKinnon. I couldn't see who was underneath him, but they were very, very close to bringing out a caution, but instead neither of them go around. It was just very close. The tipping point here at Dover is not very much.
And wow, Christopher Kresge on new rubber. He blasts around the outside of Reynolds there. And he is on the move right now. He is a half a straightaway in front of him already. Feeling high and feeling fine right now as a 777.
Jeremy McKinnon is slow down the front straightaway. Not sure what.
And it looks like Garrett Rainey had an issue. It looks like he was smoking coming into the pits as well. So maybe the two of them got together, as it says McKinnon did crash.
Oh, man.
Not exactly sure. I'm going to try to take a little look at a replay.
Nothing came up on my crash cam, so I wasn't really sure.
Well, McKinnon and Michael Fish actually got together a little bit. Looked like McKinnon might have been the one to come down. Hold on, let me take another quick look here. Yeah, McKinnon was just trying to hug Michael Fish coming out of the turn, out of turn number 4, and he got into him and ended up getting turned up into the wall.
They've been racing hard. I had just made the comment, I think even a half a lap before that they were racing pretty hard. I think Daniel Morey was trying to get on pit road and just barely made it on.
And since we've been green for so long, it is just lap car after lap car for Justin Michael right now. Has not had a breather for quite some time. He's got another few lined up in front of him, and I don't think it's going to stop after that. Of course, I think he'd much rather have that to deal with than 30 more trucks breathing down his neck on a restart.
I'd say so.
And Gavin Sanders has made up a bit of time on Reynolds and Michael. Not a ton. He's about 7 seconds behind Nathan Reynolds right now. Here's a pass for position. This is Salamone on the inside of Bartel. It looked like they almost made contact there. This is actually right in front of your leader. And I'm incorrect. That was not TJ Bartel.
That was Jeff Smith.
It was Jeff Smith. Sorry, Jeff. 2 red trucks with black numbers. I got a little confused.
Looked like they might have been poised to go right back at it. As we're about 5 laps away from the final pit window opening up here. It's been caution-free thus far, but not incident-free.
Not incident-free on the broadcast either, unfortunately.
No, certainly not.
Whoa, and Gavin Sanders is on the bottom of nearly 3 wide. Saxton and Michael Fish looked like they went at it there for a second. I just caught the tail end of it. Sanders is able to get through cleanly.
Gainey just had to make a save down the back straightaway.
Boy, I tell you what, our drivers have done a good job here tonight. I know there's been some incident, but really nothing major. And we weren't really sure what to expect. You know, we thought we might be primed for some carnage here tonight, but really nothing of the sort up to this point. That's going to make this last pit stop all that much more exciting.
And the pit window is open. Some of these, these drivers at this point are going to wait as long as possible, I'm sure.
Well, it looks like Jeff Langston is coming down pit road right now.
So he will be the first to try his hand here. No penalty for Langston, so that's good news.
And again, Gavin Sanders will be able to push it farther than a lot of our drivers. We'll see how far he will try to take this stop.
He's cut into the deficit by about half a second here. But that's the good news. The bad news is that he's still 8.5 back.
Yeah, that's on the leader. Actually, on second place, Nathan Reynolds, who seems to have slipped a little bit. He's actually gained about 1.5 seconds on Reynolds, only 5 seconds behind now.
Yes.
Sanders has Jacob Houston wanting to get around him. Houston must be on some new tires, or newer tires anyways. He's going to get through. Boy, and Dakota DeMade's night has not gone like we thought it might.
No.
He looked really good early in the race, and he's dropped to 12th now and is a lap down.
He was lower than 12th, though, at one point, but 12th is certainly, I'm sure, not what he was aiming for here tonight.
Oh, and we have Melissa Reynolds go Nathanator in the chat. Wow, yet another nickname for the Intimidator.
They're just piling up at this point. .68 to go. The gap from Michael to Reynolds and Sanders has increased. Sanders has fallen back almost a second since the last time. It's only been 4 laps since I said that he had picked up a second. Somebody just missed the entrance of pit road there. Oh, that was almost a huge problem there, as Smith and Gainey were battling side by side. Whichever truck missed the entry to pit road was trying to pull back up onto the track in the side-by-side battle.
Big news up front. Gavin Sanders has hit pit lane.
There he goes. So he was the longest pitter, and now is going to probably bring the leaders down onto pit road. The Brantley Gainey situation was almost snowballed into 3 or 4 different incidents. It was quite the chain of events, but I think everybody has got it sorted out.
The leader, Justin Michaels, has not come down this time. Nathan Reynolds does. So Reynolds looks like he got in cleanly. And your leader, the 78, Justin Michaels, stays out again. He had a pretty healthy lead built up when this round of green flag pit stop started.
On the front straightaway, it's going to be our first caution.
Who is it? I can't see it.
I think it's Garrett Rainey and Jeff Smith got together down the front straightaway. Rainey can't really tell. Smith is coming down off the wall. Rainey is drifting up the track. I think they just come together. But Rainey comes bounding back across the track, parks it on the outside wall, and right in the middle of pit stops, the caution is out for the first time. Wow. And boy, doesn't that change just about everything.
It does. I'm going to try to go back a little bit farther. He is blinking, so I can't actually really see the incident very well. Do you know who else was involved in this?
Jeff Smith.
Jeff Smith.
Jeff Smith, Garrett Rainey were the 2 involved there.
Boy, what a time for our stuff to just not work at all.
And not that this should be a surprise, but the lead lap drivers that did not come down pit road are now on pit road.
Boy, and all the way down the front stretch there, it's just a lot of blinking and skipping. Unfortunately, not going to get a very good look at that one.
Brad Saxton, under caution, just rear-ended Kyle Dumig. That one was not very popular. Well,
Well, it's the first caution of the evening. And pretty late, not until lap, I think it was 136 maybe, somewhere around there.
so trying to see who is going to stay out and take a wave around here, as a lot of the lap down trucks have just hit pit road. So the trucks that are behind the pace car right now, Dakota DeMade is 3 laps down. So he's going to get 1 lap back here. Gavin Sanders will get back on the lead lap. Jacob Houston will get 1 lap back. He'll be 2 laps down. Roland Holt will get back on the lead lap. Daniel Morey is 6 laps down. He'll get a lap back. Hunter Leach is 7 laps down. And Nathan Reynolds is on the tail end of the lead lap as well. Garrett Rainey is multiple laps down, so he was looking to get 1 back here. And those are the only drivers that are going to take wave arounds here. Took us a while, but we've got caution number 1 in the books. And I am just going to go ahead and type in the command for the caution. And we'll see if we need it for the next time. Justin Michael is going to elect the outside here as wave around cars will work their way towards the back.
And I'm going to try to take a look. I was trying to find this incident between Dooming and Saxton. And I have found it. Saxton absolutely locked the brakes up, trying not to hit him, knowing Brad Saxton, who was probably texting and driving at the time.
Yeah. That'll be dealt with. Oh, Brad Saxton. What would we do without you? All righty, partner. Are you ready for this one?
I don't know if I can be ready for this one. This is gonna be something. Maybe cautions breed cautions type of deal. I don't know. We'll see.
There we go. Justin Michael back to the gas, and we are green.
Clean up towards the front. The middle of the pack is bunched up big time right now.
They are looking wild towards the back. 3 wide.
Oh boy, if anything's going to happen, it's going to be right here. Everybody's navigating pretty well up to this point, though.
Good getaway for Justin Michael on the restart.
He now has Vroman and TJ Bartell, who, from the ashes, it seems, we haven't talked about him really all night long, finds himself in 3rd place and breathing down the necks of your leader and 2nd place driver.
Oh, Brad Saxton, I think, just pounded the wall to turn number 4. Actually, I think that was... No, it was Brad Saxton. So we have 6 trucks on the lead lap. Not sure what happened. I thought those drivers were going to get wave arounds, but apparently not.
No, they didn't, and Sanders got the worst of it. He thought he was coming in to really help himself get on some new tires earlier, and he gets trapped a lap down. So another dose of bad luck for Gavin Sanders. TJ Bartell is looking to the inside of the 00. tight quarters racing going on there. Joe Yakes in the 87, all by his lonesome right now. As Steve Roman looks to the inside of your leader.
Here we go for the race lead.
Now we saw on the initial start of the race, about 10 laps in or so, the bottom really started to fade, and the middle is where you wanted to be.
Tight quarters.
And Justin Michael are battling hard right now, though.
And Bartel behind, licking his chops. Side by side at Dover is going to wear both of these trucks and their tires down.
And Michael clears.
So Michael staves off the advance from Steve Roman for now.
And unfortunately for Vroman, working the bottom so hard like that, have to believe that that probably affected his tire wear in a very negative fashion.
Inside of 50 laps to go.
Top three's gone quiet for now. Vroman isn't necessarily going away. He's just sitting back a few truck lengths behind for right now.
Gavin Sanders just made a pass on Michael Fish for ninth.
And just like that, our field is spread out quite heavily again.
It's also been a little bit over an hour now, and 10 minutes since we dropped the green flag here. If, and a big if here, if we stay green the rest of the way, this race should be over in about another 17 minutes or so.
And there aren't a lot of battles for position that are on the lead lap throughout the field. Only 6 trucks on the lead lap.
Timing of that caution really screwed a lot of things up here. That is for sure.
This battle for the lead is going to either tighten up or spread out here in the next 10 to 15 laps or so as these tires start getting a little bit older, a little bit more worn out. I think it's going to either bring these three together or separate them pretty heavily. going on board with TJ Bartel, you can hear how much he's getting out of the throttle already. And tried to get back to the throttle earlier and had to kind of burp out of it again for a second. When you have somebody on your outside like that coming out of turn 4, that is not a good feeling as he pushes it hard into turn 1.
So it's Justin Michael, Steve Roman, TJ Bartel, Joe Yakes, Nathan Reynolds. The top 5. Adam Cantwell is the only other truck on the lead lap right now, P6. Paul Ellison in 7th. Would be in position for the lucky dog if the caution were to come out. Then Will Salamone 8th, Gavin Sanders in 9th, Michael Fish in 10th. And Roland Holtz in P11 is the only other truck 1 lap down. 38 laps to go. Justin Michael not only looking for 2 in a row, but looking to be the first driver to win 2 races in Truck 200.
Yeah, 3 races, 3 different winners so far this season, the inaugural season. Justin Michael's he's spread it out a little bit here, letting her run. He's got over a second advantage over second place driver Steve Roman at the moment.
And the way this point structure is, it's not super top heavy like something that we would see in the RL Daredevil series, for instance. But it's certainly a little bit more top heavy, something that would certainly favor Justin Michael, who came in a little bit late to the season here.
Well, we've had a lot of drivers that have joined after at least the first race, if not after a couple. And, of course, glad to see a lot of drivers joining and coming out to race with us. Would not be possible without all of them. But a little bit of ground to make up for those that got a late start.
And the other bad news for Justin Michael is that Steve Roman is in 2nd. Roman, of course, the points leader. So Michael would, not including bonus points, would only be picking up 15 points on Steve Roman here tonight, as they run right now anyway.
The closest battle on track is still between the 00 of Roman and the 59 of Bartel.
They're in fairly close proximity. Also a battle for 12th, although they are 2 laps down. The debuting Luke Peterson, who we've not really talked about a whole lot tonight, he's starting to close in on Aaron Breeding for that spot. So
and Breeding slaps the wall.
Nice to see Luke Peterson in here tonight. He was a very late entrant into the race here tonight. I think I understand what happened with Gavin Sanders now, because they were ahead of the leader and still scored 1 lap down. So he had already gotten his lap back at that point. So was 2 laps down. The wave around had already happened when I said he was going to get another lap back. So that was the confusion there.
Whichever way you slice it, just horrible, horrible timing for Gavin Sanders to have that caution come out. Had only been back out on the track for maybe a lap or 2 after his early green flag pit stop to try to try to get the new tires a little bit earlier than everybody else. And now Bartel is really working on the back of Steve Roman.
Yeah, all 3 races for Gavin Sanders, he's shown that he's had the pace to run up front. And he said something out of his control to take it away from him every time. Got caught up in 2 accidents at Talladega. Of course, the internet disconnect from the lead last week at Watkins Glen.
Wow, Bartel was barely clear of Roman there, but he does clear the 0-0 into second.
Salamone and Ellison were working close quarters there as well for the 7th position.
Joe Yakes has gotten to Steve Roman now. I'm not sure what happened to the 0-0.
Roman may have just pushed it a little too hard, a little too early now. 24 laps to go.
Well, we spoke about it when he was working on the bottom of your leader, Justin Michael, for about 3 laps in a row. We were a little concerned he was using the tires up. And it seems that we were correct. Slipped back a couple of positions now in the closing stages.
So 3.7 second advantage right now for Justin Michael over TJ Bartel. Coming to 20 laps to go. Jacob Houston is hitting pit road. I think a bad night is continuing to go worse for him, unfortunately. Started strong, but it's just sort of snowballed like it's so easy to do here at Dover. Just a taxing race here at Dover, no doubt about it.
Yeah, this is a demanding track. You know you got to keep that speed up all the way around. And you're on edge pretty much all night here. 200 laps of being on edge. That's a tough night, that's for sure.
Yeah, pretty commendable job by all of our drivers here tonight. I know there have been some words exchanged over the radio. There have been some run-ins as well, but for the most part, everybody's done a pretty good job here tonight, especially with the task at hand. It's not easy, and it's not supposed to be either. So feel pretty well strung out here with Justin Michael, the race leader here, working lap number 185, coming to 15 laps to go this time. Undoubtedly has led the most laps after starting P3 here tonight. After he sort of fell into the wind last week at Watkins Glen, but it's not like he wasn't also running a great race. He was in P2 for the entire race until he sort of was gifted the lead.
Yeah, I mean, he himself ran a great race. He was just being bested by Gavin Sanders at the time, and unfortunately for Sanders, it was not able to continue.
And while you could say that about Watkins Glen last week, there was no gifting this time around. Justin Michael took it, and there is no denying it. Well, we still got to close the deal here, coming to 13 to go. Ryan Dye found himself on the outside of 3 wide there. As TJ Bartell, 4.5 seconds behind the race leader, and now actually closer to 5 seconds.
We went cockpit there with Justin Michael for a second. He was still really slamming it hard down into the bottom groove of that track, down into turn 1. He is not letting up at all.
Joe Yakes is drawing a little bit nearer to TJ Bartell as the laps wind down here. He's got about 1.5 seconds to overcome.
Yeah, he was up to about 2.4 seconds behind, now to about 1.8.
So could be in for an Atlanta rematch with the roles reversed here, with Bartell trying to fend off Yakes.
You can see it there. Yakes is going to have a clear track in front of him. Bartell has a little bit of traffic here. The 18 of Dumig moves up to the high side to make way for the 59.
Seven and a half laps to go to get 2 in a row. Sounds like Zittel and Reynolds had a close call. Zittel just trying to limp it home at this point, involved in an incident on the very first lap. It has been the longest night for him, with 5 laps to go. Maybe a long 5 laps for Justin Michael up front. Coming to 2 to go. Still some lap traffic to navigate through for the race leader, but not under any threat whatsoever from Bartel behind him. Bartel still with about a 1.5 seconds advantage over Joe Yakes. Yakes is going to need something big here to move up to P2 in the closing lap as Michael rounds turn number 4. White flag is out one more time around. Two in a row, the first to do it. Justin Michael is back in victory lane. This time he does it at Dover. Justin Michael wins the only exciting thing to do in Delaware 200. And he does it in dominant fashion here tonight.
Yeah, another great performance from Justin Michael. And this time, there were no gifts. He just took it.
Burning it down, part 2.
Burning it down for certain. And don't forget, he had a huge incident sliding in sideways into pit lane earlier in the race. Comes back, makes good on it, and is able to take the checkered flag. And he is burning it down big time here. Oh, and there goes the engine.
There goes the motor. All righty, let's give you the full finishing rundown here with Justin Michael grabbing his 2nd career Truck 200 victory, 2nd in a row, 2nd for Toyota as well. TJ Bartel, 2nd career podium, 2nd career 2nd place finish actually. Joe Yakes, 2nd career podium as well, his first bronze medal. We'll talk to all 3 of these gentlemen momentarily. Steve Roman, the points leader, a P4 finish here tonight. First time the 5th finishing position goes to anybody except for Paul Ellison. Tonight it belongs to Nathan Reynolds, who got up front and led some laps. He holds on for 5th. Adam Cantwell, the only truck on the lead lap there in P6. Paul Ellison then will finish in 7th, so not too bad. It's unfortunately the streak is over for him. Will Salamone then a P8 finish. He has stayed pretty consistent all season long. He has not finished anywhere other than 6th, 7th, or 8th. Gavin Sanders, a tough deal for him again here tonight, but the good news is he gets a top 10 finally. So over the hump in that regard, P9 for him. And the early race leader and pole sitter, Roland Holt, a P10 finish for him here tonight. I'm sure not what he was looking for, but he does finish the race here tonight. So again, a better turnaround for him than what we saw at Watkins Glen. Michael Fish, first truck 2 laps down, then will finish P11. Eric Breeding in 12th. Then Brantley Gainey in 13th. Luke Peterson, a debut here tonight, 3 laps down in 14th. Jeff Smith in 15th. Dakota DeMaine way back in 16th, 4 laps down. Johnny Nielsen, 17th place finish for him here tonight. Brad Saxton had some problems. He goes 18th. Jacob Houston, 19th. Troy Thomas, P20. Christopher Kresge, P21. 22nd for Daniel Morey. Kyle Dimmick in 23rd. Hunter Leach back in 24th. Ryan Dye with his problems running pretty well, and then colliding into the pit wall. He finishes in the 25th position here tonight. Garrett Rainey in 26th. Kyle Zittel in 27th. Jeff Langston back in 28th. A DNF, I believe, from him. Jeremy McKinnon, DNF in 29th. Andy Poliski in the 30th. Dave Stinson and Richard Hayes, your 32 drivers that took to the high banks of Dover here tonight. And we started 32 trucks, and the driver that is going to come away with the P3 finish here tonight. 2nd career podium for Joe Yakes. Welcome back to Booth 200. Are you happy this one's over?
Yeah, I was having a lot of fun out there tonight, but it was definitely a tiring one.
I can imagine. What was the most challenging part of the race for you?
Well, with this track, I've always felt like I've been really good in that 30 to 50 lap run, but anything past that is where I really start to struggle here. So having to run out those longer runs, I'm just sitting there and I'm watching people get away, and it's like, okay, they're going to get away, but then I'll catch back up to them, and then we'll just see how it shakes out. So just trying to look after everything on those longer runs here tonight was definitely challenging.
Matt, what do you got here for Joe?
Hey, Joe, we were talking about that last caution, and it came kind of right in the middle when people were going to start doing their green flag pit stops. Did you almost get stuck a lap down, or were you hoping to continue a little bit farther before you came in for your green flag pit stop? What was your strategy going into that?
No, I was within about 5 laps of my pit window that I was looking for. So when that caution came out, I was absolutely ecstatic because I'm like, okay, we're gonna reset here. We're gonna get a chance to get up there, and then hey, we got some guys trapped a lap down, so it's just gonna be a handful of trucks to duke it out at the end there. So that was probably the most absolutely perfect caution I've ever had.
Well, alrighty, a P3 finish for you here tonight. Shout outs for you.
Yeah, I just want to shout out HD Motorsports with my teammate there, Adam Cantwell. We were working pretty good here tonight, even though we were kind of not really near each other tonight. And then, I've got my fans on Glimish. We're streaming here tonight. It's all over the truck. So, shout out to those guys for tuning in, and my guys at Indy Autosport that aren't here tonight. So
it was a good night for Hammer Down, though. P3 and a P6. So good run for you, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Looking forward to it. We'll see you soon.
All righty, let's get our second place finisher up here. It is another second place finish for TJ Bartell. Welcome back to booth 200.
Hey, thanks, guys.
How are you feeling after that one? You tuckered out?
I'm extremely tired. That was a lot of work.
What was the hardest part of the whole race for you, you think?
Well, I mean, the truck drove really good, so I was happy with that. But I put myself in a hole when I qualified really poorly, and then I missed pit road on the first green flag pit stop, and I had to go back around again. So I kind of had to, pass a lot of trucks to try and get back up towards the top five both runs. I just, if I'd have been a little smarter and not done myself in, it might have been a little bit easier of a go of it.
Matt, what do you got for TJ?
Yeah, TJ, I was going to ask you about that. We mentioned that when you came out in third on that restart, we were like, man, he came from seemingly out of nowhere. Hadn't talked about you all night. What was it, that pit stop that really helped you out at the end, or what was it that kind of brought you back from the dead? It seemed.
Well, I was lucky enough that I stayed a little longer on that first one. So, I was probably going to run at least another 10 or 15 more laps before I pitted and, caught the caution just right. A lot of guys had pitted. So that gave me a really, a lot of track position. So I didn't have to work so hard.
Well, shout outs for you here tonight, because you definitely earned it going from 21st to second here.
Thanks, guys. I just want to give a shout out to Truck 200, Turn 200. You guys up in the booth, you do an awesome and amazing job. It's always cool to go back and watch these. And got to thank my wife for letting me do this, and thank the other drivers. There's a lot of guys out there that really cut me slack, let me go. Lap cars were really good. So just a fun race overall. Just a little tired.
I don't want to speak too soon, and I'm not sure if this really matters to you, but this is the kind of things that I really enjoy. I think you've got the record for most spots gained over the course of a race now. So something to hang your hat on here tonight. If you weren't already pretty proud of a 21st to second run, that's pretty outstanding in my book. So awesome job, and we'll be talking to you again soon.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
All righty. Race winner X2, he's the first to do it. Floorboard deep, Mr. Justin Michael is a race winner again. Welcome back to booth 200. How are you doing?
Thanks, guys. Good to be here.
How did that race go from your vantage point?
Oh, it was really good. Setup handled really nice, especially on the long run. I think that's where I had all my speed, and it seemed like everybody else was just burning their stuff up a lot quicker than I was. So it was a really fun race. Had a little issues getting on pit road there that one time, but otherwise pretty good.
Well, I think Matt was going to ask you about that, but that was going to be my question. Is we didn't see it come to life until a little bit into the first run there. Were you hanging back more, or was the truck just not coming to you there early on?
Oh, I figured we might have some long runs here, a decent group of guys here, so I really like running here. So I didn't figure we'd have a lot of yellows. So I was just trying to take it easy early, save my tires, and I was just kind of studying everybody else's lines and watching them, and just kind of knew they were going to burn their stuff up just the way they were driving. So just let them.
Matt, what do you got for a race winner here?
Justin, congratulations. You alluded to it. We saw quite a few incidents trying to get onto pit road. What was so tough about it tonight? Was it just the speed you were carrying into there, and it was just slick when you were trying to come down?
Yeah, you got to really get on the brakes hard to get slowed down here. And I thought I slowed down early enough because I was even saying on the stream, I tried 5 practice pits and only 1 was successful. So I just backed it down a little earlier, and I guess still on the flat, I just got onto the brakes way too hard and only half looped it at least. So we were able to turn around real quick and stay in second.
Well, alrighty, partner. Shout outs for you again here today.
Just everybody out there watching. It was a really good race. Hopefully they liked it too. My friend Darren out there always watching, so we definitely appreciate him. And yeah, you guys for calling a great race. And my friend out there, Scott Patton of Patton Paints, who painted this truck. So we definitely appreciate that. Hopefully we'll have a new one here in a week or two to show off a new paint.
Well, hopefully your friends got to see most of the race here tonight. We did have some streaming difficulties, and I was a little bit stressed out on the admin side, so I don't think it was my best broadcast, paired with a couple of internet issues. But I mean, to go back and watch yourself win, I think you're going to think it's a pretty entertaining broadcast. I can tell you that much. So congrats on being the first driver to pick up 2 wins here in the series. We appreciate you coming out, and go party hard again.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. We'll see you next week.
All righty, partner. It was a different kind of night here tonight. We had a bit of everything on and off the track. I think this is the first time that the drivers were really starting to get comfortable enough with each other to race hard and also sort of throw some shots and some daggers at one another over the radio. I know you didn't get to hear that, but I did.
Yeah, I mean, this is close quarters racing, but also very high speed. You have to, be comfortable around the people you're with if you're going to do well around this track or just at least survive. But everybody did a really fantastic job, I know I talk about it week in and week out how good the drivers are here, but when it's your first season of a league, you're a little uncomfortable going in, but very happy with the driving that we've seen up to this point, and these guys are putting on a great show.
So I'm not sure how the VOD is going to come out on this one. Hopefully it's all intact. At least the tail end of it will be. I don't really know. So we'll have to sort all that out. But I appreciate you working through the difficulties here tonight. What else do you want to say to the fine folks out in turn 200 lane? Because you've been working your little tail off this week.
I sure have. Well, first of all, for those of you that actually found the stream after it shut down, unfortunately, thanks for coming on back and tuning in. Also want to mention that Tommy and I have been working on some things, myself specifically, over the last week or so. We've started doing some shorts based around NASCAR and motorsports news. Also have a new show called Recap 200. The first installment of that dropped just before the stream started today. Those are going to be NASCAR weekend recap streams. Well, not streams. Those will be post-produced videos, but Tommy and I kind of go over and review what happened over the NASCAR weekend. The first installment of that just dropped tonight from the Busch Clash last night. So go check that out if that's something that you might be interested in.
I want to unmute myself there. I think you're going to be interested in it. That's for sure. But I think we're pretty entertaining guys. So yeah, this broadcast was kind of a little all over the place tonight. So apologies for that, but tried to rein it in as much as possible here. Trying to do a little bit of race control and broadcasting when things develop as quickly as they do in Dover, and certainly I missed a couple of things tonight as well. So yeah. But we move on, and in fact we move on tomorrow night to a race that is going to be way more chaotic than this, and that we don't have to do race control for. So hallelujah, tomorrow night is the Visit JVL out in California Way 40 at Long Beach for the Venom Truck Series. Good God, it's going to be a bloodbath. It is going to be an absolute slaughterhouse, but I cannot wait. It is going to be an awesome time. You're going to want to be here for that. You're also going to want to be here next Monday for this race was supposed to be an Indy 200 for the 80 laps at Pocono. That is what's next on tap for Truck 200. And we'll have to see if tempers are going to continue to boil over in Truck 200 here after what was a pretty chippy night here on the 1 mile in the Monster Mile. But that is how we're going to leave things here tonight. We hope to see you tomorrow for Venom Truck Series action from Long Beach. You're definitely going to want to see it. We hope to see you back here Monday night for Truck 200 from Pocono. But until we meet again, for everybody here with Truck 200 and Turn 200, for the greatest stream producer of all time, the one and only Mr. Matt Williamson, I have been Tommy Cook. Until we meet again, so long from virtual Dover International Speedway, where Justin Michael doubles down and goes back-to-back in Truck 200. Have a good night, everybody.